With measles outbreaks making headlines across the country, parents are on high alert. But here's the big question. Are unvaccinated kids becoming a public health crisis? Have a look. Measles are on the rise again, as hundreds are being diagnosed with this contagious disease. In the year 2000, the U.S. was declared measles-free, but with this recent outbreak, it's the largest in nearly 30 years. Lawmakers say this kind of outbreak can be prevented by vaccines, yet many families are choosing not to vaccinate. With the highly contagious nature of measles, should doctors allow non-vaccinated kids in their practice? A national poll from University of Michigan's Children's Hospital reveals that 72% of parents want their child's doctor to implement restrictions on unvaccinated children who visit their office. We actually asked our social media followers, should unvaccinated children be allowed in pediatricians' offices without restrictions? 57% said no. To discuss this, we have pediatrician Dr. Eric Ball and pediatrician Dr. Oliver Brooks joining us today to weigh in. And I want to start with you, Dr. Ball, because you do not allow unvaccinated children in your practice. Can you talk to us about why and when you made that decision?
Correct. So unfortunately, my practice was at the epicenter of the measles outbreak in 2015. So I practice in a community about 30 miles from Disneyland. And in 2015, we saw 5 of our patients come down with measles and dozens of exposures of measles in our waiting room. So measles is incredibly contagious. It will hang in the air for about 2 hours. So anyone who is in the office within 2 hours of those patients coming in were at risk for contracting measles. And in a pediatrician's office, that means a lot of babies. And babies can't be vaccinated against measles until they're 12 months old. So what we started having was babies who are at risk of catching measles in my office. And what we had to do was call all of those patients and tell them that they need to bring their kids back. We had to give them an injection of a medicine called an immunoglobulin, which protects the kids to hopefully prevent them from getting measles. Of the kids who got these immunoglobulins in our office, one child had an anaphylactic reaction to that medicine and almost died. And another was one of my patients who had a brand new 2-week-old baby who brought their kid to the pediatrician's office for a diaper rash and left worrying that their child would die of measles. So we had to make a decision. Are we gonna allow these patients to come in our office to potentially put our other patients at risk, or are we gonna stand with our families who vaccinate their kids and protect our babies and our immunocompromised patients? And it was an easy decision for us, so we decided that we would no longer take patients who did not vaccinate.
Wow.
And Dr. Ball, I'm just curious, what was the reception among patients who didn't necessarily agree with that stance?
So it was interesting. The reception to our new policy was incredibly positive. We had like dozens of phone calls, emails. It was our most popular Facebook post for our practice because we were hearing this from our families who did not want their children to be at risk from vaccine-preventable diseases. As for the few families who did not immunize their patients, I was surprised. Actually, a lot of them actually ended up getting their vaccines because we'd had a relationship with these families and they wanted to stay in our practice. There's maybe 1% of our patients were not vaccinated at all, refused to vaccinate, and ended up going to other practices. And they didn't trust me. They thought I was some part of a grand conspiracy to hurt their child. And if you don't trust me with immunizations, which is like the hallmark of pediatrics and of public health, then how do you trust me with anything else, any other medical decision?
So in your opinion, that was best to break off those relationships, albeit small.